Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Tonight, reaction, shock, and high tension for travelers across Connecticut. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Avelo Airlines announced that it would end flights out of Bradley International Airport at the start of the new year. They claim this is due to a lack of demand.
Now, Fox 61's Stephen Reels talked to travelers at Bradley and tonight shares their thoughts on the news and the new pushback Avelo Airlines faces.
The budget airline says that this decision to pull out of Bradley International Airport was strictly business, but that decision quickly got heated with leadership here at the airport, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But the people I spoke with here at Bradley tell me that this decision made by Avelo is just sending the wrong message to travelers. As airplanes arrive to a busy Bradley tarmac, takeoff could soon be a little less crowded as Avelo Airlines announces its departure from the international airport. A surprise even for travelers on other airlines like Danny Jones.
It's not a good signal for one. I come out of Bradley a lot. It's closer for me as opposed to flying out of Boston.
In a statement to Fox 61, the budget airline says the move came after the money made from Bradley did not cover the costs, and that Avelo remained committed to continue its operations out of Tweed New Haven Airport. However, the move was met with criticism by the team behind Bradley, the Connecticut Airport Authority, who says it was disappointed by Avelo's decision and confused why the airline was, quote, uniquely unsuccessful at BDL despite those significant advantages and the success enjoyed by many other carriers at the airport during the same time frame, end quote. The CAA called lack of demand from Avelo as a flimsy excuse, given Avelo's Houston flights were 70% full while it was in service and peaked at 96% in December before it was stopped in January, while the flight to Montego Bay ranged from 80 to 95% full. This was the only nonstop flight out of the state to the Jamaican airport.
I'm a little surprised. It's always sad to see an airline pull out.
Now travelers like Tanya Stubbs are left wondering what the financial impact will be on frequent flyers and the airport as a whole.
Hopefully Bradley can attract more airlines to come in through here.
The last flight that we know of scheduled for Avelo out of Bradley is set for January 25th. The leadership here at Bradley say that they're already in talks to keep those Avelo routes open with other airlines. At Bradley International Airport, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.
All right, Stephen, thank you. Time for a look at the weather now. It was a cooler Thursday today in the state, and that cool air is here to stay.
Yeah, but some may say it's almost beautiful as Connecticut's sweetheart herself, Rachel Frank. There she is. I made up that term, and it's in the script.
Oh, my God.
But what we say is cooler. Like, that's really kind of subjective. I don't know. It could be not cool to some people. I don't know.
Cool, like Sarah.
Oh, there we go. Look what she did there, Brent.
Cooler as we head through the next few days, but not cold. Temperatures will just start trending a little bit below average, and we are gearing up for a nice fall weekend. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. Notice there are a couple showers to the north and west of us. There is a slight chance for a sprinkle or light shower later in the day or at night tomorrow, but most of us will stay dry, and I wouldn't cancel any outdoor activities, after school sports, none of that. 48 for a current temperature in the Hartford area, but we're in the mid-50s right now for New Haven. Overnight lows, though, will be cooler tonight in the upper 30s to low 40s as we head towards daybreak. And tomorrow, I think, is very similar to today. We start the day off with sunshine, but we will turn mostly cloudy as we head through the afternoon, with highs in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. What about this weekend? The cooling trend continues. We'll talk about that, plus the potential for rain and wind around this time next week. That's all coming up.
All right, Rach, thank you. New here at 10, the UConn women's basketball season opener against number 20 Louisville has been moved. The game was originally set for Ramstein Air Base in Germany on November 4th, but has been moved to the Naval Academy in Maryland due to the government shutdown. Louisville's coach says his team will make the most of the trip to Annapolis. The change was made by ESPN. This was supposed to be the first time the Armed Forces Classic featured two women's teams.
Also new at 10, the Old Lyme Democratic Town Committee has filed a formal complaint with the State Elections Enforcement Commission against the Connecticut Examiner.
The complaint claims the publication has been operating as an undisclosed political arm of the local Republican Town Committee and is violating state campaign finance laws. Democrats claim the Connecticut Examiner's funding, filings, and staffing are tied to prominent Republican officials and that the paper's coverage and paid promotions favor GOP candidates. The complaint asks state officials to determine whether those actions by the paper amount to unreported political expenditures or illegal corporate contributions.
In response, the Old Lyme Republican Town Committee calls the complaint against the paper baseless and politically motivated. The committee says the Connecticut Examiner publishes letters from Democrats, Republicans, and independents alike, and the paper's funder has no editorial role. The Republican committee also added the paper has been recognized for journalistic quality by other outlets and called the Old Lyme Democrats' complaint a, quote, desperate attempt to sway voters. The SEEC is now reviewing this filing. We've reached out to the Connecticut Examiner, and we have not yet heard back.
And meanwhile, the editor of the Connecticut Examiner, Gregory Stroud, says the complaint is frivolous and built on numerous inaccuracies. He says all letters to the editor, including those critical of the paper, are always published outside the paywall. Stroud also clarified that the Republican email addresses cited in the complaint were non-functional placeholders used for privacy, and that both Democratic and Republican officials received them. Well, Hartford police have made an arrest in a deadly August shooting. Officers were called to Main Street just before 2 a.m. on August 24th, where they found 25-year-old Najee Vernon shot and unresponsive, and he later died at the hospital. After a 2-month investigation, police arrested 22-year-old Courtney Bird of Hartford. He has been charged with felony murder and carrying a pistol without a permit. Bird was taken into custody without incident and is being held on a $950,000 bond.
Bristol police say the reported attempted child pickup at St. Joseph's School last week turned out to be a misunderstanding. Officers identified the driver and found no criminal intent or public safety threat. Investigators say school staff did exactly what they should have done and acted quickly when they thought a child was at risk.
A big change is coming to the Crystal Mall in Waterford, and it's not another store moving in. Electric Boat, the submarine manufacturer based in Groton, is taking over that property. They plan to turn it into a research, training, and support facility. The company's president says the move will free up valuable waterfront space for building submarines and eventually bring thousands of employees to the new site.
Allow us to pull the administrative functions and consolidate them in this location. So think about engineering labs, our training facilities, and other engineering software development, things of that nature. Consolidate them here in the mall so we can use that precious space on the waterfront in Groton to build submarines.
Now, Governor Ned Lamont says it's another boost to Connecticut's workforce pipeline, but some mall employees, like those at Hot Topic, worry about what happens to their jobs once construction begins.
Everyone's freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm like, I just got this job. I'm about to be a manager after my birthday in February, and now I'm going to have to look for somewhere else.
Electric Boat expects to break ground in 2026 and for employees to move in by mid-2027. For now, the stores and restaurants at the mall will stay open.
I hear you and I feel your pain, and I agree with you that we cannot accept the status quo for our kids any longer. We cannot just blindly accept that our kids are going to get less than kids in Glastonbury and Avon, Simsbury, and every other school district.
Now, that's Hartford Mayor Arunan Arulampalam with a direct message to families who've lost faith in the Hartford public schools. After years of enrollment drops, staffing shortages, and financial strain, the district is at a crossroads. Now, a new partnership with the State Department of Education is laying the groundwork for change through a 5-year plan to reset the system from the ground up.
And Fox 61's Annette Montgomery is outside Hartford Public High School with why the mayor says tough conversations will take place.
Plain and simple, Mayor Arunan Arulampalam says it's time to face some tough truths about the district's future. He says Hartford is operating too many schools, 39 to be exact, with too few resources, and that means consolidation will have to be on the table.
We've got 11 high schools in the city of Hartford, and not a single one of them has the enrollment large enough to field a football team. So we've got to take a real look at these difficult decisions about whether we have the appropriate number of schools.
Tough challenges require tough conversations, and Mayor Arunan Arulampalam says he's ready for them. He's teaming up with the State Department of Education in an effort to help Hartford students get the education he says they deserve.
We just cannot accept the status quo for Hartford's kids anymore. And that means close collaboration. At times in the past, the city of Hartford and the state have been at odds over the future of our education system. We're trying to bring everybody into this conversation.
As a father with kids in Hartford public schools, the mayor says the stakes are personal. He points to the trade-offs families in the city face: academics over arts, sports over music, as a sign the system is stretched too thin.
We don't have enough coaches to fill as many schools as we have. We don't have enough music and arts teachers to fill the number of schools we have. And so consolidating back to a right-sized school will allow for more of those programs to happen in schools.
He says fewer schools could mean more opportunities, from foreign languages to reading and math support in every building that remains. This new plan builds on the state's existing work that has already assessed what's holding Hartford schools back and what could push them forward into a future that works for everyone.
The State Department of Education has done their own studies broadly on Hartford schools and have put out 2 reports. Look, nobody wants to have those conversations, but for the sake of our kids, we've got to fight back against the status quo, and what we have right now is not working for our students.
Mayor Arunan Arulampalam tells me a third report is on the way, and he wants the city at the table when it drops. He calls this a chance to turn studies into action and a 5-year roadmap that could finally change the trajectory for Hartford students. In Hartford, Annette Montgomery, Fox 61.